Is that better light for everybody? Hi, everybody. Welcome to our cooking night. Katie Bardo and I will be your tour guides throughout this evening. Say hi, Katie. There she is. We're going to be talking about back to school night and recipes that really help, not back to school night, but back to school, and recipes that help busy moms or dads and families get meals on the table, snacks on the table, breakfast out the door, and kids can cook and help as well. So I'm going to start out tonight just showing you a couple tools that I like to use in my parties and show off for moms and kids. I've also had kids cooking shows that I've used these recipes with, and they seem to like them. And then Katie's actually going to be preparing a recipe for us tonight using the microwave cooker, pasta maker. So today I actually made a couple things that I'm going to show with you, and bear with me because my computer obviously is not good. But the first thing I did was I made the milk and cereal bars, which I love to make in our snack bar maker. I made two different kinds. This one's with Cheerios, if you guys can see that. Super quick to make and easy. It's only like 4 ingredients. I love the snack bar maker. I had my granddaughter come over after school today, and she made these with Fruit Loops and marshmallows in them. And then all that's added into this is peanut butter and honey. And then we put some dried strawberries in here for a little sweetness. And then we just drizzled some white chocolate on top of them. Super easy. I love the snack bar maker. You can use it to make cookies. Kids love it. It's easy to use. This goes in the oven, I believe up to 450 degrees. And they pop out super easy. And I'm not going to take them out, but I'll take one out. They pop out super easy, and you can put it in snacks for the kids for school, lunches, or after school treats. So this is one of my favorite items to use. I sell it at a lot of my parties. Easy to sell because moms and grandmas love kids in the kitchen working, and it gets them started on learning how to make a recipe without really hurting themselves. So this is just super simple. Anybody have questions on the snack bar maker? All right, I know I'm going a little bit fast, but Katie's going to be doing the real cooking. All right.
Did they stick at all when you did them? Like, did you use your pizza roller or anything to like mush them in there?
No, what I used was this. And I just pressed them down in there. So I use this to scrape out everything, stir it up. You heat up the peanut butter with the honey together until it bubbles, and then you pour it into the cereal. And then I stirred it with this end and pressed it down with this end. I love this tool.
That's a good add-on for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And this was my favorite thing to use, the little mini for the peanut butter and for the honey. All right. I'm just discombobulated because I started out in the dining room and ended up back in the kitchen. All right, the brownie pan is my favorite tool. I don't know about you guys, but it's the first thing I purchased when I started with Pampered Chef. It actually came in my kit. I didn't purchase it. I just lied to you. But it is one of the items I use the most. We all know that it's not just for brownies. And one of the best items that I like to talk about in my virtual parties and my cooking shows is how versatile it is. And one of my favorite recipes is the egg, what's it called? The quiche, or the mini frittatas. And one of the reasons I love this is because we have so many leftovers, at least in my house we do, with vegetables or bacon. I always make extra bacon when I'm making bacon eggs or sandwiches. And I just save all those little containers. And at the end of the week, I whip together a frittata and throw these in the freezer. It only takes a few minutes to whip them up and cook them, about 14 to 15 minutes to bake on 350. In this, and you actually use a lot of tools on this. In these frittatas, I made eggs with avocado, a little onion, broccoli, and the broccoli can be fresh or cooked. So if you have leftovers, it's fine to throw in there. I put some mushrooms in mine as well as some red peppers. They're super easy to make, super easy to remove. I do spray them first, spray this first with a little bit of olive oil spray. Spritz them. And there's many tools you're going to use and sell. So obviously the grater for the cheese. A scoop to get them in there. And kids can actually do this. And Kaylee, my granddaughter, she's 12. She actually made the whole thing today. She used the whisk to whip up the eggs. She used the knife to cut up the peppers. She used the food chopper for the onions. Actually, she used the knife for the mushrooms and she used this for the onions and the peppers. We also use the scraper, the bowl, and the cutting mat. So those are a couple of ideas that you can use for kids back in the kitchen. Cooking classes. It's great for mornings, rushing out the door. All you have to do is freeze those. I usually put 2 in a package and then throw them in the microwave for 30 seconds. So if you're running late, which I know my daughters do often, trying to get the kids to school, they could just grab it, throw in the microwave and eat them on the way to school. So does anybody have any questions about those? All right, there is actually one more recipe I wanted to share with you that I actually made for dinner tonight in the brownie pan. And it's a family favorite. These are sloppy joes. And all we do is take Pillsbury dough, pre-made the biscuits, put it in. I like to use the brownie pan. You could also use a cupcake pan. And then you just make sloppy joes on top of the stove. I use the, I could share my recipe, but it's basically ketchup, can of Coke. And it's 1 cup ketchup, 1 cup Coke, some onion, some brown sugar, and a little garlic. I use that in the meat when I'm cooking it. And then on top, we put grated cheese. 350 in the oven for about 15 minutes until the biscuits get browned. The kids love these. It's been a family favorite when my kids were growing up, and now they're making it for their kids. It's just a different take of a sloppy joe. Instead of using bread, it's basically a biscuit and easy. So that's another use of our brownie pan. And with that, Katie, I'm going to push it over to you.
Thank you so much, Lisa. That was really good. I love the brownie pan. Those are 2, like we were actually fighting over who gets to use the brownie pan. That's one of my favorites too. I say fighting loosely, but I love the brownie pan, and that's perfect for back to school meals. We talk a lot about what you can do for little kids, packing lunches for little kids. And one of the things that I think gets overlooked is the older kids, because it's not just about sending them to school with lunches, right? Like, raise your hand if you have teenagers or like tweens at home with voracious after school appetites, right? They come home, they want to raid the fridge. Like, the first thing they do is they eat you out of everything that you have, right? So, you know, and we talk about college kids too. A lot of people are getting into the dorms now. They're going back to school, and those college kids, they live on the cheap and they want fast and easy meals, but they have like a ramen noodle budget, right? They're not going to go spend a lot of money. But we all know living on ramen noodles, it's not really sustainable. So even if that's what you're buying for the kids after school snack, or if that's what your new college student is sustaining themselves on in the dorm, you know, it's not a really healthy option. So one of the reasons that I love the microwave pasta cooker is because you get the benefit of that fast meal, but it's all right here in the microwave in like 10 minutes. So you're spending very, very little difference in time, but big flavor, big protein, big difference in nutrition when you're making these types of meals yourself, fast and easy. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to make like a noodle dish that is not ramen noodles after school, or if you're that busy parent that's like running home and running out to after school activities, and like the only hot meal you get is the one that you have at the office, or the 5 minutes you have to eat leftovers out of the fridge at home, then this is something you can throw together yourself too, because the back to school isn't just for the kids back to school means schedule changes for everybody. And right now it's about adapting and getting back into routines and figuring out new ways to kind of go about navigating all of the challenges that we're all dealing with. Some of us are in school full time, some of us are not. So that's why I really like these tools. I find them super helpful. I'm gonna shift down. So hopefully y'all can still hear me, but now you can see me. And so we're gonna be working with, like I said, the microwave pasta cooker. This guy is ceramic, so it goes in the oven or the microwave. We love that, right? It comes with its lovely strainable lid. So it's an all-in-one piece. And the perfect upsell, the perfect companion partner is the microwave bowl cozies because it fits nicely and it's gonna keep your hands from burning. You don't wanna try to fumble this guy out of the microwave with these. This is really handy. So all you're gonna do is prepare all the ingredients right in the dish for this. In our house, one of my back to school tips is keeping fridge vegetables and finger foods that you can get to easily. This is how we kind of stay on track with eating healthy. So I already have carrots, celery, broccoli ready to go in my fridge. This is the small cooling insert, and I don't have any of the trays in here right now. It lives in my fridge, so I don't need the cooling insert. I just shifted all the veggies, but I don't need that cooling insert. There's a good 2 inches of room in here to just load it full of finger food. So that's what I've done. And if you're doing that, when you go to cook during the week, then you can use those veggies that you already have kind of semi-prepped, right? And you can go ahead and just cook with those. So what I need for this recipe is 1 carrot and 1 stick of celery. Usually you're gonna have this laying around in your fridge and your kids will be able to go ahead and just make that right on up. So if you have, like I would say, this is a good for teenagers who are pretty self-sufficient in the kitchen. You can chop it up with a knife or the food processor. My food chopper has a broken collar on it. And you guys know we sell replacement parts. So don't ever let anyone throw away their food chopper until you've checked if they can replace that part. But while I'm waiting on mine, I'm gonna chop these up in the manual food chopper. You want them to be pretty small. I probably could have rough chopped those a little bit more. But we're feeling lazy tonight. You guys, just so you know, I'm a lefty, and this tool is totally lefty approved. Okay. So we're looking pretty good, right? We've got our, I showed my screen like the camera was my screen. Haha. So this is veggies, again, just carrot and celery. That's all we have. Super easy, right? Everybody's got that. So you're gonna put your carrot and your celery into the bottom of your pasta cooker. And when I'm not talking to you for 20 minutes, this only takes 8 minutes or so to make. It's super easy. So we've got our veggies in there. Then we're gonna add in our pasta. So this is about 3/4 of a cup or so of the ditalini pasta, which is the little tiny macaroni salad pastas. And you guys, if you're doing a demo, my advice is to have everything ready to go, measured out, so you know what you're going to put in and you're not fumbling around looking for too many things while you're talking. So the next thing I'm going to add is some tomatoes. I have a can. This is the Italian style tomatoes. I love showing the can opener at demos because people either love it or they hate it, right? This is a fun one if you're doing a cooking show, to get a actual person from the audience to show you how to use it. If they are unsure how to use the can opener, I love to tell them it's like landing a plane. That usually solves any problems that people have with not liking our can opener. Once they try it a few times and they use the landing a plane analogy, they're usually happy with our can opener. I know I am. One thing I like to point point out about the can opener while I'm showing it is I like people to think about their can opener at home. I like to show them mine. I use mine every single day, but you don't see any black, gunky, yucky stuff on my can opener. And then I ask them to think about their can opener at home and let them know that all that black, gunky stuff on their can opener is food and bacteria that's hanging out, and it's gross. But because our can opener doesn't touch the food, you don't have that with the Pampered Chef can opener. We're gonna take about a can of the tomatoes, juice and all. You want that yummy juice, it's got the flavors. So we're gonna put our canned tomatoes in there. Now we're gonna use a half a teaspoon of bell pepper rub, one of my favorite Pampered Chef seasonings. But I like to kind of add a little extra because I do think this dish is a little on the more subtle side when it comes to flavor. So I'm also adding a half a teaspoon of the garlic and herb rub, which is another one of my favorite Pampered Chef seasonings. And then the last thing you're going to add in there is some chicken stock or vegetable stock. This is a completely vegetarian dish if you don't use chicken stock. I'm going to give it a little stir. And we're going to put that in the microwave for 8 minutes. So if you're cooking along with us, you should be caught up to this point. And the only thing we don't have in there is the beans. We're going to stir those in at the end. So I'm going to put this on in the microwave. Okay. Isn't that so easy? Super easy. So while that's cooking, I'm going to show you guys my other super easy trick for zoodles. Do you guys play with these at all? The peeler set? Do you know a lot of our customers don't realize these are separate peelers? They have no clue that they do different things, like no clue, and they're so useful. So as much as I love our zoodle maker, this is actually the fastest, easiest way to make spaghetti-sized zucchini noodles that we have in the catalog. And they're perfect size. It's the julienne peeler. The yellow one is julienne. So when you use it on zucchini, you get these beautiful, oops, I'm sorry, dropping zucchini on my laptop, but you're getting these beautiful zucchini noodles. So easy. So this is another thing that somebody can come home after school. Maybe they don't like pasta, right? Maybe they prefer zucchini. You can come in within just a couple of minutes and throw this dish together. So if you're buying lean cuisines or frozen meals, this is how I eat low carb a lot. And so this is my 12-minute air fryer lean cuisine with zucchini noodles. So I take my little freezer tray, right? These are the freezer storage trays that we sell. They fit in the air fryer, and I use these all the time in the air fryer for reheating leftovers, for baking chicken, for baking vegetables, for making potatoes. Anything you want, you can do in these. You're gonna laugh at how silly and easy this lunch is, but this, and I'm not even a whole zucchini. This is like half a zucchini to do this. And you get a whole filling dish just throwing this together. So I've got zucchini noodles in the bottom here. And I love pizza. And one of the biggest things when you go low carb is trying to recreate those flavors that you love, but you can't technically eat, right? Because pizza is full of carbs, but the carbs are all in the bread. Rao's spaghetti sauce is my favorite. And I usually just sprinkle like a tiny bit of Rao's over the top. And I do like a little bit of our seasoning salt just to give the noodles a little something extra, but not too much, just a little. You could also use the bell pepper herb rub if you like. And then I'll usually just kind of spread things around flat like this. And you can do this however you want. If you like supreme pizza, you can put sausage, you could put bell peppers, you could put red peppers. I have some pepperoni that I'm laying down because I love pepperoni. And I'm just gonna cover the surface of my dish in pepperoni. And then I have 2 slices of provolone cheese. And that's it. I pop this guy in the air fryer for 12 minutes at 375 on the roast setting. And it comes out bubbly and delicious and looks just like a mini baby pizza. And if you guys wanted, you could totally put a scoop of kaolin fiber in with your zoodles and kind of mix that around. If you wanted to, that's totally an option. So what do you think of my fast and easy air fryer zoodles? Is this something you guys would try and make at home? Do you think this would be like something good for a fast meal?
Oh my God, yes. And I absolutely love using that freezer pan. Oh, where have I been living? Under a rock, I think.
These are so handy. I sell them with every air fryer, you guys, because they are amazing. They have the lids too. I very rarely use them for ice cream. It's been all about the zoodles. I did it for we've done frittatas in there. So, and they're lightweight too. Love those. So that was my easy peasy zoodle recipe. All
I
right.
bet you sell tons of those vegetable peelers too.
Yes, and you know, this is, so one of the things we're talking about is show tips here. So when you're looking at things to talk to people about, you know, these come in a set themselves, but then Pampered Chef also has them in a set with the flexible cutting mats and the set of paring knives. That's a super cool back to school college gift, yeah? Like 3 cutting mats, paring knives, these little guys. And remember, we've got the regular peeler in there that's going to cover all your veggies. We've got the serrated peeler in there that's going to cover your, I use it for jicama or anything, butternut squash that has that thick or hairy peel on it. So yeah, super handy back to school tool. And I can't even say enough good things. You guys, I sell these all the time and I don't even have to use them to sell them. When I talk about how much the ceramic egg cooker just means to our family's morning routine. This is actually the product that my husband uses the most, like hands down in our house. I'm gonna be real. I don't do breakfast. Like I don't want to eat it. I don't want to cook it. I don't want to cook it for myself or anybody else. And you know what? They can just fend for themselves. That's how I feel. So this makes our lives super easy. He'll put like 2 eggs in here, microwave them, add some cheese. He'll cook a hash brown or 2 in the air fryer, throw some bacon, and all of a sudden he makes these breakfast bowls with only the microwave and the air fryer. For him and our son, they have full on eggs, hash browns, bacon, ham, cheese, and veggies every single day just using this. So this is for $17 is our daily breakfast meal maker. But beyond that, anything that you can make in a mug, any mug meal can be made in this vessel. And the reason I like this vessel for that is because the sides are super tall. So when you're doing your oatmeal in here, it doesn't overflow on you. It's great for oatmeal. It's great for little mug muffins. The best tip I ever heard was from Miss Marna Ross, who keeps Master Mix in her pantry, which is a box of chocolate cake mix and a box of chocolate pudding, and she mixes those powders together. And whenever she wants a mug cake, I've been doing this since this came out. Whenever you want a mug cake, you just take a half a cup of that Master Mix and you put it in the egg cooker. You add 1 egg, 1 tablespoon of oil, and 1 tablespoon of water, and you stir it all together. Put it in the microwave for 1 minute. It's all a bunch of ones, guys. It's super easy. And you have a little chocolate mug cake anytime you want. Or if you wanted to do it with like butter cake and vanilla pudding, you could totally do that. So any way you want to have your indulgence, this is a nice way to get that. And for those kids that are coming home after school and they want something fast and easy, they can make an omelet, they can make some steamed veggies, or they can make a mug cake or a mug muffin or oatmeal. So many different options. I'm gonna go check on our pasta. Give me just 1 second to talk amongst yourselves here real quick.
Hi, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
I could talk to you for a little bit, and then as soon as everything gets back in here going again, then I'll probably have to put myself back on mute again. But my dog's getting used to me being on Zoom, but she's still not used to seeing a whole sea of faces up on the screen. So then she wants to talk to everybody.
there you go. And she's back.
Okay, treat,
I'm back. I realized that the
Good girl.
timer was still going at like 7 minutes, but I know I set it for 7 minutes. So I don't know what I did, but my pasta is cooked.
Yay.
This one you don't have to drain either. It's gonna absorb the majority of the liquid in here. And so if you have like a little bit of sauce, that's totally okay. The next thing you're gonna add to your pasta bowl is about a half a cup of beans. And you could use chickpeas, you could use kidney beans, you could use excuse me, pink beans from the can, black beans, whatever's in your pantry. One thing I always tell people at my shows is if you see a recipe and you don't have that ingredient, but you have something close, maybe you have shell pasta, you don't have rotini. If you can make it work, use what you have. Don't go get something else. Just use what you guys already have at home. So we're using chickpeas because that is what I had in my cupboard. And now I want to talk about the enrichables too, because you can put enrichables in any food. So I'm going to go ahead and throw in a full-on scoop of our super veggie right on in here. And I'm going to throw a scoop of the pea protein in here too, because we can put this stuff in anything, and that's going to boost our nutrition. Who knows how many grams of protein are in a scoop of the pea protein? Let's test your knowledge. Who can tell me in the comments?
Who knew this was going to be a quiz?
I know, we're interactive style. Y'all, you're gonna learn something whether you like it or not. Welcome to my kitchen. Okay, so it's 2.5, you guys. 2.5 grams of protein per scoop. And when you mix it in, you cannot even tell that there's anything in there. It just looks like it's part of the sauce. And the last thing that you're gonna do is you're gonna top it off with some Parmesan cheese. Now I have some pre-shredded Parmesan because this says half a cup of cheese. So you're gonna put a pretty healthy amount of cheese in here unless you don't like Parmesan that much. But I love Parmesan. But I did want to show you guys my favorite way to grate Parmesan because block cheese tastes way better than the stuff you get in the can. Have y'all seen the new Zester? Isn't this cool? Check out the handles, the little button to unflip them. This is all technical talk too, so feel free to say unflip in your show. It will make your guests laugh, I promise. So you can easily open that up. I love the space-saving design here too. I just think that's so nice for my pantry. But I use my Zester for grating Parmesan cheese because it gives out this perfect little curl of Parmesan. And it's just so thin and wispy and it melts right into your dish. So they can keep the Olive Garden grater now because I have my Zester and I will use that all day long. What else can you zest, guys? You can zest lemons and limes, right? But also you can use your Zester. The new one has a little food holder. So you're gonna be able to grate your nutmeg, your whole nutmeg cloves in here. You can do this with your ginger too. And my tip for ginger is throw it in the freezer first. It'll grate so much easier after you put it in the freezer. But that is it, guys. So anybody, I really think anybody could come home with like 20 minutes to spare, throw this together, and wouldn't you rather eat this than a box of ramen noodles or a cup of noodle soup, right? So much better. So this is my favorite back to school products because ramen noodles just are not where it's at. So minestrone pasta.
Too.
Great job, ladies. I love it. Thank you. I love all the tips. And oh my gosh, that freezer pan in my air fryer, worth the price of admission. And
And
that,
just showing that recipe, you're showing the air fryer, so you're gonna automatically be showing $300 worth of tools, just showing the freezer pans, the air fryer, and the peelers.
right, wow. Wow. That's a great, great recipe. Thank you. Did you want to stop the recording or so?
I will, so then we can all be under